waiting. There we go.
What are you waiting for? Why are you being quiet?
I was waiting to see if this is coming up. You know how the internet works out here. It's all slow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Welcome back to SOS.
Hi, everybody. We
Oh, we
got
got,
Dan on
hey,
the ooh.
Sabo.
Keith. I can see.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Wes.
Got Wes.
I'm sure we got Miss Wes.
Got Keith.
Oh, we do got Sabo. But that's
I got,
it. Just
I got a bunch of.
Bullhand,
Hey, what was it?
Chi Paul,
Daggone.
Ray, and all you shy fine typers out there.
I'm looking for that.
That what?
Uh,
Oh, there's Chipper.
remember earlier I had that piece of paper?
Are you able to get some showers in Chipper? Or are you doing a sponge bath
Found a screwdriver tip.
since all the rest areas are closed?
What was the name of that
Hey,
tree?
Douglas.
Do you remember?
The Moringa.
Moringa? I couldn't
Think.
remember it.
Not
I know
Macarena. Moringa.
I know a lot of
Ray.
folks like Wes S.
Prince.
and Jabroni. Both your names was on this Ziploc bag, and it was there was a little note in there that says you could probably get these trees to grow in your area.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was a long time ago. Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
That's the
Smoke
one, Wes. Smoking Locust. Hey, the but
Rick.
you guys gave me that a while ago, and I finally got the trees planted or the seeds planted for it, and hopefully they turn out. I have another pack of them. Hey, Cool Hand. I have another pack of them, and I took one pack out and just started tilling, and I started tilling and just laid out a little section there just to get the plants out, and we've so far all day. Well, I think just about every single day we have been outside and having to construct and build something.
Mm-hmm.
And
AIDS, on calm. So sad.
I mean, dude, I am exhausted. Like it's just one thing after another. We're making so
Moko.
much stuff. We did
David.
we expanded the garden.
James.
It's bigger. I'll do an update so you guys can see it. I know some folks out there is like, well, we talk about these things, we don't really show that part of it. So we're going to show you guys all the craziness that we've been working on.
I forgot to check you for ticks.
You didn't check me for ticks. I probably need to get checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably covered in.
I'll get the blowtorch out here momentarily.
I'm gonna get the Smoky Mountain Rocky Top Fever.
Yeah, I don't use tweezers. I go straight for the blowtorch and burn them off.
The deer fever. So we did we did beans, radishes, we did beets. You got your cilantro and
herbs done.
your herbs, all your herbs.
Parsley.
It's too many to name off, and
Mammoth.
I did beans. I went ahead and did a variety of beans. I went ahead and planted all those, and I just like the reason why I like laying out a lot of beans is because they just keep coming in. They constantly just keep rolling, and that's always good to have. Is something like that. It just keeps rolling, and you can keep canning them and eating them. It's good. We got carrots too. I went ahead and did that. Those are coming in. Yep. I guess that's about it for now, and because we got to wait till May to plant some of the other stuff, like corn and everything else.
Sunflowers,
tomatoes, and we've still got a ton of cherry tomatoes. I figured to give you guys an update. Chickens are fine. Got their butt feathers are coming in. Little chickies' butt feathers.
Yeah.
We've expanded their cage. You guys might have caught that, and we're working on the chicken coop now. So we're gonna do a split. So one period they can go out one section of it and dirty it up, and then I can close it, and then I can open up the next section. They can dirty that up, and by that time we've cleaned the other one up, and we'll just switch them back and forth like that. That's what I'm going to do for that. Thank you, Fireside Coffee. God bless you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't have the bell. I think Sippy has the bell. Sippy, what'd you do with the bell? You've lost your train of thought, haven't you? There's that. I brought some filters. I've got filters. I've got masks and a bunch of stuff like that. I've had all kinds of freaking just I guess internet experts, keyboard experts, those types of folks that are they just they shotgun answers that they freaking know everything in the world. They watched a documentary once and they've just got it all figured out and
Thank you.
they hey Wayne G.
Appreciate
Uh, all the internet experts, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody out there that's just well, you can make an N95 mask from coffee filters and some bed sheets or something. You know what I mean? And
Of course, there.
I've seen it all in the past few weeks, and for guys like myself, I know Wayne G's taken courses before, and I'm pretty sure I think Wayne G, you're in the chat, so I think I'm not sure, but I remember you mentioned you're also a respiratory protection program manager at some point. You done that for the Navy, and uh, myself, I was certified. I had to take college courses for it. Back here behind me, I have all the OSHA books that I had to carry and lug around with me. These things are monstrous books, but they have a lot of information on respiratory protection and uh, what kind of filters to use in different situations and
They have crazy.
what you should do in different situations, not just from filters, but also masks.
It's nice to see you back on.
But I wanted to shed some common sense
Daniel.
into this mask topic, and there's just a lot of folks that will tell them, hey, look, I'm doing a homemade N95 mask, and you'll see folks wearing like a shema or a bandana or something like that.
A lady's scarf, perhaps.
I just want to tell you from experience and the things that were taught in class when we actually sat down and discussed these things. what what is what
That's funny, John.
for someone who tries to substitute a bandana for a N95. Now, N95, that's 95%. That's just like the 100, that's 100%. And that goes into particulates. And if you look at, I have a uh, I have a breathing mask down here that's uh, in just a minute I'll get to these, but I have a breathing mask down here that's beyond a N100. It's beyond that because it traps vapors, so you won't get the vapors, and you probably wouldn't smell anything if you actually had a good fit seal. I know the guy with the beard is telling you all about fit tests and things like that, but this is all stuff that I know, and I just I prefer not to shave. When I left the military, for those of you that don't know, I prefer to have a beard, and I grew it out. So,
Thank
well,
you, Teddy.
Teddy, thank you. Boom, boom.
Thank you.
Cluster
Very
bomb
much.
just for you.
Thank you.
I always get these things
We
popping up on my.
appreciate it. Especially times are probably tough for a lot of you folks.
I know,
with
right?
jobs and lack of jobs and trying to get
Definitely.
supplies and
Uh,
yeah. But don't worry, you don't have to defend yourself with the beard and the
I
mask.
just like to tell folks the because there's all the keyboard warriors that pop out of the
Mm-hmm.
woodworks. They just jump in the room like Billy. It's some random guy. He's new to the channel. He's never seen me before or something. He just
Yeah.
stumbled on me and says, "Oh well, the guy with the beard's talking about blah 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 blah." A lot of you folks that post videos know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the only reason why I'm saying
Well,
it.
there's a lot of guys at the hospital that are very upset they had to shave their beards. Very upset. Mandatory beard shaving going on.
If you had an N100, okay, versus an N95, real quick, there's slight differences. One is going to have an organic carbon base, the other one
Hey,
isn't,
Brian.
and you'll be able to tell the difference. There's going to be some sort of carbon base going on there, and some of the NIOSH approved ones are like huge. They're huge square looking things, but they still look like the regular N95, just bigger and more blockier. They puff out some, and
You transpired.
your N95s pretty standard, but they're not all the same. For folks that say, well, your surgical mask, people who buy surgical mask and then start trying to stitch it into some material or something, not all those, let me tell you right now, all those surgical masks that you buy online and places like that, most of them are probably not even real. They're probably not even real surgical masks. There's some that are actually found in military medical kits. And this is something that we all had to talk about while we were in class as well. The military medical kits that you would see in any working space and certain vehicles and things like that. There's a face shield in there. There's also a blood passaging kit. It goes with trauma and all that stuff. You pull this out and there's a mask in there with a face shield. That mask isn't even fit for what's going on right now. It's not at that level to stop the very tiny particulates coming from spray from someone else's cough.
Because I know at the hospital you have to do your N95 and your face shield. You can't do a surgical mask.
For example, a bandana is probably in the 1 percentile. It's maybe roughly on, if you're pretending on just based off of thickness of a bandana, wearing that for protection is probably about a 2%, if anything. Uh, that's just giving you the percentile here because N95, that's 95%. So you can kind of get the idea here. That's 95%. You'll know if your mask is a correct mask just by blowing out a flame. If you take a lighter, for example, let me go grab a lighter real quick. Just to sing a song. Sing a song, babe.
I'll just stare awkwardly into the camera. Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a bandana?
I have a bandana. Because I always have a bandana. Because I'm sippy.
You got one in here?
Yeah, just take it off the dog.
I don't want dog's bandana. It's nasty. Here, let me get one.
There's a red one on the dryer.
Okay. I got it. This is a good example.
So what's up, Margo? We're just going to stare.
I got this. Hang on. This is just a good example, okay? Okay. A bandana. Now, you put this over your face. I cover my whole face up here. All right. You can do the honors. Nope, not too close. Woman. Stop. Babe.
Okay. Okay. It's
You ready?
serious. I'm serious.
Okay.
I'm serious, bro.
You see that? Just blew the flame out. Now, 1 second. Let's just try an N95, okay? NIOSH. I'm gonna open this guy up. Here we go.
I feel like I should be wearing a
NIOSH. NIOSH. N95.
Yeah, take your hat off.
I got it. Even with a beard. Hey, I'm going to do this with a beard on. Just to show.
Pinch your nose.
I got it.
There you go. And it's got to be parallel to the floor.
Woman.
Okay. Ready?
All right, go. See how hard I had to blow?
Mm-hmm.
But it came around my face. All right, do it one more time. Took a while.
Yeah.
But see how much harder that is?
Well, you're going to have to blow some air out. Otherwise, you're going to gas yourself with.
There's a major difference in
Yeah.
mask because with this it's instant, and with this it stops 95%. So if it's catching 95% of particulates, but something to consider is you're going beyond that. You probably need something at 100% if you're dealing with something so tiny. And a
You might as
cough,
well go gas mask at that point.
a cough
Just saying.
from an individual, that it doesn't matter if they have the COVID-19 or not. It does not matter if they have it or not. And they cough, that cough can travel from this space to multiple spaces. It doesn't just stay in one room. It doesn't just stay within 6 foot of you. It doesn't stay in the social distancing zone. It actually goes beyond the social distancing zone into multiple rooms. You can fill an entire grocery store up from one cough. You can go down several aisles with one cough from an individual. So it's just the idiocracy that goes with all this stuff. The social distancing thing and this also goes with the weirdness of just wearing a mask to wear a mask, to wear something on your face. There were people out in public that were wearing scarves on their face just to cover their face up. And if you cough wearing a bandana, there's a better chance of it actually protecting others from someone sick, not protecting someone who isn't sick from, you know what I mean? So wearing this and you're not sick isn't going to help you from getting sick. This would help an individual if they are sick from spreading the cough around. Does that make sense? Okay, making sure I make sense.
That's a lot of verbiage of the same use and sick. That's okay. We all get the point. We got this.
Anyway, so what I'm trying to say here is that doing all this crazy stuff with social distancing, isolating individuals, you would pretty much, everyone would have to just become hermits and never leave their home. They're going to get sick from stuff like this. If it doesn't matter, because it also goes with your eyes. As the other thing, if someone has COVID-19, no one ever thinks about the absorption of anything through their eyes.
From the worms. Sorry. Yes, it will.
Your eyes. A lot of hospitals are starting to switch to unusual things. Now, this isn't the same thing a lot of the hospitals are switching to, but it's something like this.
They're
One of
doing
the-
basically full face shields.
Full face shields, but this is a full face respirator. But
Yeah.
you get the point. Some places are switching to like the snorkels with a filter attachment.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And it just depends on where you go and what hospital it is and what their budget looks like. But to fully protect yourself, you would have to have something like this on your face, because you're still, unless you're wearing some hardcore glasses, goggles, a face shield, you're still going to contract it from your eyes. It's still going to go through your eyes. It's going to absorb in your skin. It's just like anything direct contact. Any kind of chemical, vapor, whatever, it can go and absorb through your eyes and still instant effect, just like freaking any other kind of crazy chemical. Absorption through the eyes. Some, of course, a virus wouldn't absorb through your skin, but you'd have to wash yourself pretty good.
Who sings that song? Inside your eyes. Your eyes.
Here's another.
Oh, oh.
This is a vapor mask, and it goes beyond the. This goes actually beyond P100s. So where you're in N100, you're 100% or whatever. You're N100. This actually goes beyond that. Holding upside down. This actually stops vapors. If you had like a random chemical attack and you got hit with some hardcore vapors traveling down hallways
Peter Gabriel, thank you.
inside of a building or something, you could slap this thing on and get out without suffocating to death. And it's the reason for the color is because it's also organic. That's the reason why it has to stay in a package. Once you unpackage it, it doesn't last very long, about 8 hours.
That's it?
Yeah.
Dang.
If you unpackage this thing, anything organic.
Well,
thank you, just in time.
I didn't even see you.
Big cluster bomb.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Anything organic, okay? And I know I just got done saying, you know, the importance of the right mask, and if people are going to enforce stuff, that was the other thing. Is someone actually was telling me that their the staff that they work, folks that they work with, the company or whatever that they work for, said that you know, they gave them these cheap knockoff masks or something, and they only gave them one, and they wanted to know if there's any way you could make one from home. And I was just saying, I don't recommend doing anything like that because it's not made of the same materials, and you're not going to get the same effect. And if your employer is trying to force something like that because you're essential personnel, if you're essential, then those masks have to be NIOSH approved. They have to meet OSHA standard, basically because of the fact that it is a company and they are forcing you to stay and all these sorts of things, right? They have to have some sort of approval rating. They can't just hand out junk masks that are not going to protect you from others.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully OSHA is staying on top of a lot of this stuff. Yeah.
There's different versions of the N95. Like this is a little bit better version of it. And I've had stuff like this for a long time. I do a lot of, it's anything from welding, sanding, and all kinds of stuff, painting. So I keep a lot of this stuff around the house just for all those reasons, not just because of, you know, chaos in the streets. I also have some other weird items that I keep. Just for example, not every mask, not every filter is equal to protect your lungs. Here's another version of a mask. This is I believe this one is the 2100. I think it is. I don't see the number on it anymore. But anyways, I think this 3M 2100. This guy here. This also goes with forced air. You can do forced air with this. It can be used as scuba as well.
I was gonna say it looks kind of scuba.
You could use it in a situation where there's a fire, but mild fire. It can only take so much before it starts to break apart. But it's what you doing there? You looking for the number? It's in there, I think. Here, it's right here. 7800 as you work. I don't know why I said 21. I think this one is the, yeah, that's the 67. As you work. Anyway, it's okay. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to what I'm having to say. All right. Masks like this, you can get them in a variety of filters. Like this one is the organic vapor and acid gas cartridges. There's this version of it. You'll see the yellow and pink. That means the pink means it has a HEPA, a P100 going into the particulates of 100. So that would protect you from anyone coughing and spraying and puking on you. So that would be great for that. Anything that says 100, you're pretty good. This one here also has a P100. It has the green and the pink. This is a multi-gas vapor. This would work if you were uh, gas, right? So for
Hot baseman.
NBC type use, you could use this. It's colored in OD green here and pink on the other side. These are another good unusual filter to have. Hard to find, very unusual, and but cool. Uh, but like I was saying, with these and these, you can do forced air with this guy as well, and form fitting these to your face. Some of you might be familiar with it, but there's a passage that you have to read when you do a fit test. It's the rainbow passage. You read this thing out to make sure that once you're done with that, then you can it goes with the test as well. You have to wear the mask for so long for it to form to your face because your face warms up as your face gets warmer, and this actually will start to seal better on your face as you wear it for a longer period of time. Then you could tighten it up a little bit more. If you've got scars on your face, you're probably not going to get a good seal. A beard, you're not going to get a good seal. That just kind of goes with some of that weird stuff. Cleaning and storing properly and all that stuff. But
I don't see the chat. I don't know what's going on.
I'll fix it. There it is. Okay.
Okay.
Bubba Mask and Beard Company. Okay. Is that current?
No.
No, go click the here.
Good.
Click the arrow down. It's right there on the screen. Crazy. It's right there. It is the most recent one right
Okay.
there.
Well,
Crazy train.
we got
Anyway.
Savage Survival. Hello.
All right. Now, is Charlie still up or does he go to bed?
He's in bed.
Is he asleep?
Why? You want to do a demonstration?
Nah. Well, I could. I told him he could
Let's see.
if he wanted to. He was kind of excited about it when I told him he could do a little demonstration. He likes this weird stuff. He's always following me around when we're working on silly things. This is one of the kids' kits. I didn't know if I ever showed you guys. Chemical attack. You need a blanket. Anyway.
Yeah, he's passed out.
You need your pills. You got your pills. I keep this kit all put together. Oh, you want to see that? There you go. This is the
www.anbex.com for your pills if you want.
anyway. I keep this stuff for the kids. I wasn't going to grab mine because it just didn't make any sense. I was just going to show you guys something different, but give you guys a good example. This is an Israeli gas mask, and I just wanted to bring this out just because it's a trip. Israeli gas mask, and it's is that, what did you do?
Oh, nothing.
Okay, someone say something. Chat,
Live chat, right?
Hang on. Got it. Yep.
There.
You must have clicked something.
I
See?
didn't click anything.
See what you did?
I
Look.
didn't do nothing.
You clicked something. Anyway. I got it. See?
Okay, there we
There,
go.
it's back now. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, Israeli gas mask for
Kids.
Kids.
Look how tiny that is.
I have a variety of masks, and this is one that's got the drinking tube and all that stuff in it, and it's got a sealed original canister. I don't know how well I can trust that, so I do have on hand just in case. You've got your M44s, and if you need M44s, they're pretty easy to find. I don't know about now, but I've always had pretty good luck when it comes to finding weird stuff like this with eBay. And I'm not sure how well it is now, but you just look up, if you're getting one of these, just get yourself M44 your M44
What about the
canisters.
Polish masks?
I've got Polish masks downstairs. They're fine. I've got a variety of masks. There's really nothing wrong with any of them, and it just you've got to test it out. You got to make sure it works properly, and that goes with fitting it to an individual. And
Oh yeah, social distancing. Get over there.
you got to with stuff like this, because you've got to one of the things you've got to do with stuff like this, you've got to remove this guy here, and something you're going to have to do is you're going to have to cover this up with your palm and have the individual suck in. And if no air comes in, then it's got a good seal. And if you cover the bottom and you blow out, and it should make a farting sound.
Like
And
that.
it'll make a farting sound. That's how you check to make sure this is form fitted to your face well, and if it's the right size. Because you could have a small and you're a
Mm-hmm.
medium, or you could have a medium and you're actually a large, and you could just totally have the wrong mask altogether. So
Situations.
you gotta make sure you get the right mask, or you're out of luck in a situation because it's not sealed properly. Uh, but back to this craziness, and I think that was kind of it there. The point of that was the idiocracy that goes with some of the stuff that's going on right now. It's when I'm out and I see folks that are making face masks, stylish, these stylish bandana things, and now everybody's like trying to dress up like desperados and stuff, little bandits, and uh, it's not doing anything other than putting a check in the box. And places like California, where the sheriff in certain areas, like one of the areas I was reading about the other day, says $1,000 fine if he catches you without a mask.
And
Yeah.
I asked my sister about that, and I'm like, uh, if they want you to wear a mask and there's a shortage, how is that supposed to work? And she said, well, you can wear anything on your face, basically. She said bandanas is what a lot of people are wearing. It doesn't have
and
to be a legit mask.
and see that kills me, is that we're pushing it so far to idiocracy that a bandana is what, like I was saying, that's less than 1%, possibly a 2% pretending, but it just being, amusing the idea, maybe 2%. That's about it.
Yeah.
And you can catch heavy particulates if you're sanding and doing certain things. You don't cover your face with a bandana to paint or any of that other stuff. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me to wear a bandana. It has to catch those very, very small particulates, and those are the type of particulates that can linger in the air.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you,
Moko.
John Moko. Boom, boom,
Whoa.
boom.
Appreciate you very much.
Big
Thank
mushroom
you.
cloud. Thank you.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you very
Uh,
much. Appreciate you.
if and if you think about this for a sec, like the the folks that are just covering their face just to cover it up, it's complying. It's a check in the box. You're complying with the rules, the law, the new law. Now you have to cover your face, and uh, it's gotten crazy.
I mean, a thousand
We're
dollar fine. That's just
we're
ridiculous.
tracking people. We're spying on people. God's eyes turned on pretty much in throughout the cities. Looking at hot spots, checking on people, tracking phones, all this crazy stuff, and no one is wearing it. You, a very small percentage of folks are wearing the correct mask. Very small percentage. You can go out, you'll see somebody wearing some green sort of mask. You'll see some folks wearing some super thin sort of mask. And if you actually look into it, those masks are cool. You know, they cover their face, they fit the check in the box, but they don't work for anything. They're not doing nothing, and they're still coughing, they're still spitting on people. Didn't know locals, Virginia.
I don't know. I haven't heard that story.
But yeah, there's too many keyboard warriors out there that will just spit off a bunch of um, un unconfirmed resumes of mess and nonsense that doesn't make any sense. And we go for this whole, well, for everyone's safety, you need to cover your face up. And even when they cough,
Hmm. Well,
it's
I
still
mean,
spreading.
even if you sneeze and like you're saying cough, even if you have a bandana, it's gonna blow out
It's still going to
anyways.
blow
It's
out.
it's not gonna do anything. It
And
won't.
one cough, one sneeze can fill an entire house up. One cough can fill
It
whatever
spreads.
living space you're in, you could fill it up with one cough.
The air, especially from the AC, blows the particulates and everything, and
And if you're wearing a
so
mask, if you're wearing a mask and you don't have any eye protection, it's going to get into your eyes and you're still going to get the infection.
trust me, I've been around some pretty nasty pneumonia, TB patients, and wearing a bandana ain't gonna help with that, let alone the
That's
coronavirus. So
disgusting
for the
craziness.
CDC to tell people to wear bandanas,
It's ridiculous.
I mean, that's just them giving people false sense of security because that's not going to do
That's what that
anything.
is.
And they don't have the supplies for how many millions of people in the US?
And it's like for the folks that says, "Well, I read the count of this and this and this from the CDC." You really trust the government? You trust those numbers? You know what I mean? Like I was telling this guy, like, you really trust those numbers? How accurate do you think the CDC is right now? Yeah, that's like us believing China when they said 1,000 dead. Yeah, okay, you know what I mean? It it's just funny to me. You know, it's
Well, yeah, bandanas do help from touching your own face, but you're still going to rub your eyes. You can't cover your eyeballs with your bandana.
yeah, you still have to wear something over your eyes.
You got to be full on protected because, I mean, I just itched my eye. You don't realize how much you touch your
It's
face.
like, hang on a minute. Yep. That was an eyelash. And so I mean, it's like for folks who wash their hands. Here's another interesting thing.
Vaccines.
Here you go. Here's one for you.
Yeah, we
Since
did
we're on
mention
this
this before.
crazy subject, what about checking out? Since everybody's gone cashless and everyone's paranoid about getting handed a dollar bill, thinking that the dollar bill's got a coronavirus on it. All right. How many of you pump gas into your car and you still have to punch the buttons and everything? You still have to grab the pump. Still, when you go into the store, into the grocery store to buy more toilet paper, and you punch the little buttons on the machine with the checkout section, they've got you keeping that social distance standard of 6 pallets apart from another individual so that you can't projectile cough, which your cough fills the entire building up, anyways. So that makes absolutely no sense. And you're punching buttons on a machine that Billy and Jimmy and Tommy and everybody else, Janet that just got tagged with the coronavirus and is self quarantine, but she decided to go to Walmart that day and buy the whole store out of multiple carts of crap so she could check out because her doctor told her to self quarantine, and she goes to self checkout and starts punching all the buttons. Okay, so she punched all the buttons and she left. She just got done coughing on her hand because she's trying to cover it up and keep from coughing on other people. And she punched the buttons, and then you roll up wearing your mask and punching the buttons on the thing. Then you rub your eye and you scratch your butt and whatever else, and there you go. See what I mean? So yeah, all this stuff works, doesn't it? Am I making any sense? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there because none of it makes any sense to me.
Well, I saw the ladies wiping down the pads and stuff, but technically you need to wait 10 minutes for it to actually penetrate through the viruses, cell membranes and or what have you, and actually get in there and kill it and break it up. So, I mean, it is good to wiping down, but technically, even when you read the back of all your 409 bottles and your Lysols, you need to wait 10 minutes for it to actually seep in there and break it. But I just wear gloves. People are getting very passionate about the bandanas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
I appreciate
Hope you're
that.
surviving LA okay, buddy.
Boom!
Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. And the thing is, there's a lot of people, especially in the Kingsport area, that don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care, and
We
they're
don't
gonna
go that
cough
way anymore.
and spray it on you regardless. So just be wary.
We don't go that way
There's a
anymore.
lot of people that don't care, and yeah,
It's pretty bad.
I feel like I should wear a hazmat suit sometimes.
The folks that
I'm like,
were,
can I just put a hazmat suit on?
and the other thing that was the other thing that's going on right now is everything that's closed due to the coronavirus and limited staff due to the coronavirus. All these weird things that are taking place that are escalating out of control. I mean, it's literally the economy is sinking, and I mean, there's not even any sales tax really flowing into the government or into the states, into the government. There's no think about it. Everybody's out of work. No one's really spending the money on all these weird items, out in town and whatnot. No one's going to these events. There's no like football, NFL, hockey, all that stuff. Everything's just toppled. If you think about all the damage this is doing to the economy just with just tax based stuff, think about how much tax is not being collected right now. And the folks, you guys, I mean, don't expect anything out of the government right now. You're trying to get some sort of money back, and that goes with stimulus and things like that. I don't see anybody getting the coronavirus relief, and by the time everybody gets it, it's too late anyway. And the ones that get it and they live with mom and dad, I'm just throwing it out there. There are those. You're 40 years old and you live with your dad or mom. It's getting a stimulus check for an individual like that would
Finger in
probably
your
be
face.
fine. Uh, would actually go somewhere. But at the moment, there's everyone had this plan to boycott being evicted and stand their ground and all that stuff, and it's not working. None of that stuff is working.
Hey, Edward.
It's going to be this mass eviction. It's a mass eviction. There's going to be a lot of folks losing their places. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen on a large scale, and it's gonna be totally chaotic.
Well, even people in the healthcare field are losing their jobs.
Yep.
This one person was telling me their sister in home health is worrying about losing her job because everybody needs to stay confined and social distancing, and at the hospitals like our smaller ones where we're not in these major cities, we're actually down our patient census to where we've closed 2 floors.
Yep.
And there's a lot of the surgery nurses, like the PACU nurses, where they're used to busting out 100 surgeries a day. They're down to 18, and a lot of nurses are getting cut a lot of hours. I've actually had my hours cut.
A lot.
I had my like the overtime I signed up for. They cut that out.
Well, the only thing that they're really dealing with is the COVID-19 stuff.
They're
And
trying to keep everything open and prepared and ready in case it gets a big explosion. And basically, I only work 3 days a week. Where it used to be 4, 1, 3 the next, but where there's not that many people coming into the ERs because They are actually heeding the words, don't come unless you're actually like really feel like you're dying or it's a true emergency. So the ERs have not been staying as full as what we're used to seeing. And I actually just volunteered to take an extra class so I can get some ICU training so I can be a buddy with an ICU nurse. I'm like their little buddy, a little backup to help them out because
You got to do the cross training
mm-hmm,
to move around
I'm all for it.
because you never know what the future is going to hold. You work in one particular place for a certain time, and you're dealing with certain types of patients for so long, and then you
Mm-hmm.
switch floors, and the whole situation changes. But at the moment, everything's just gone chaotic. I mean, their focus is COVID-19, and that also goes with dental. And like my son the other night, his dentist appointment is long gone, and they're starting to close down all the dentist offices due to COVID-19. And he has a cavity that it's not going to just go away, and but we can't take them in because of the situation at hand. So here I am having to bust out Clovil for my son so that he doesn't go through pain of his tooth. Nothing else is working on him because it's at that level and it's got to get pulled
That's where
anyway.
you got to go back to home remedies because yeah, I was trying to find a pediatric dentist and they're all closed. Don't call back till April 13th due to
Yeah,
the compliance of the CDC.
so ridiculous.
I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. So what can I do about his poor tooth besides shove a bunch of Tylenol
Oh, did
down
you
his
find
gullet?
something?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get my
Um,
water.
I'll just share a little
Go
tidbit of
ahead.
information. You can rinse with warm salt water, not hot or cold, because that temperature
I've done that one
really
before.
gets to that root. So yeah, baking soda also it says in here. Um, just 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt in a glass of water. The salt draws out some of the fluids causing the swelling, and have general soothing effect. And it also acts as a cleansing agent
Hmm.
too. Um, and then, of course, to also
Have
bring
a
down
what?
the hmm,
I'm just reading.
to bring down the
Thank you,
fireside
Fireside
coffee.
Coffee.
Thank you
Good
very
night.
much.
Good night. Thank you.
Appreciate you, buddy, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um,
You're going out till October. That's awesome.
so if you do like a cold compress on the outside of your mouth, that'll keep the swelling down too, because all that
Oh,
swelling
yeah.
causes that.
Remember Sabo's dental kit?
Yes.
That crazy, crazy, crazy dental kit?
Yep. Because that inflammation from the swelling and stuff really pushes on that root, that nerve. And there was something in here I thought that was really cool talking about nerves. Um, something about putting ice on your hand. That's right. It says if you take pieces of ice and you put it like up on the V shape, I think it was the V shape of your palm, and you numb it and numb it, it numbs that nerve that is the same one that travels up to your tooth, to your brain. So you're numbing the transmission of the nerve
I was trying to get his
for
mind
pain.
off of it. I started pulling out pliers from the cabinet over here and hammer and setting them
Okay,
on the
yeah,
table.
between your finger, thumb, and your forefinger. That's what I thought the V. So,
And he was laughing, so I was distracting him from the pain.
mm-hmm.
And I told him something else I could do. I could always, you always like stub your toe or something and forget about the pain. It's like
Yeah.
now your toe hurts, so you don't think about your tooth.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's really much
I
you
think that's
can
a
do.
tooth thing. I've had
I don't think there's much you can do as far
friends
as
with
for
brothers.
me, tooth pain is the worst.
Yeah.
I think just about, I'd rather have someone shoot me in the leg than go through tooth pain.
Yeah.
I think that's just the worst thing ever is tooth pain. And I mean, I've tried like, what is it, niacin and stuff like, crap, not, I'm saying it wrong. Uh, Niacid. Is it, ibuprofen? Ibuprofen.
Oh, you're talking about NSAIDs.
NSAIDs? Is it NSAIDs?
Yeah, it's
You would know.
NSAIDs.
I'm just like,
What
ibuprofen.
happened? Something happened.
Something happened.
Scooter 13.
Thank
you
you,
very
Scooter.
much. Thank you. I'm trying to get some high fives and stuff and hold my book. Thank
Big
you.
rocket.
We appreciate you.
The ibuprofen. That's what it is. That stuff always works better for me with tooth pain.
Yeah, because they said, well,
and Clovol. Sorry.
Yeah, if you can't use Tylenol is usually a good one, but of course if you can't do Tylenol, then do ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen kicks mine out. It definitely calms
And then
down.
of course the clove oil is another good one that they say that works.
I keep plenty of clove oil because it can pretty much kill the root if it comes to it. If you keep applying it.
Well, and they even said to make a temporary filling over your painful cavity.
That's a good idea. I did that with the last one that I had. It took so long to get the dentist appointment.
Yeah.
You remember the temporary fill I had to do?
Mm-hmm.
I just mixed up whatever it was they told me.
It was the eugenol with zinc oxide.
Yeah. You just you mix up and just put it in there, but you got to clean it out. You got to
what I think would be good to do is if you have or like a saline flush, it's got a powerful burst, or do a squirt gun with some salt water, something that has a high force.
That'll blow it out.
Squirt it out. That'll help too. You don't have to really scrub too, man. That would hurt.
Jeez.
But yeah, you do. That's a good point. You do want to make sure it's clean. Don't.
It's funny when we're talking about respiratory protection. Now
we're on teeth. Hey, man.
It's important though.
It's important
because the dentist offices are closed in most places.
Yeah, there's no dentist to be found anywhere.
If your dentist office is still open, you must live in Alaska or something, because some places they're not open.
Yeah. So of course I know who wants to exercise, but it says don't exercise.
Don't exercise.
You're pumping the blood, and I'm sure
that's a good point.
You can feel it. I know with my last tooth I had to get pulled, I could feel my pulse inside my tooth. And I'm like, yeah, you just kind of want to sit, relax, meditate. For me, it's braiding his beard.
You're ridiculous.
That helps me get all nice and at ease.
Right.
Yeah. And put out that cigarette. Don't smoke.
Yeah, don't do that.
Those were the big ones for.
Gotta get this stuff
for teeth
over here before I lose it.
That I thought would be.
I'll catch the kids playing with this stuff later if I don't put it away.
Yeah. So, anyways, natural home remedies, things that will help. But yeah.
And the kids have really taken this hard, and they cannot figure out why. It's like,
oh, Drew's fixated on her crayon box. Man, she's like, Mom, when am I gonna get my crayon box back from school? I want my crayon box. I'm like,
yeah, she
you're
won't
worried
get
about your
going.
crayon box? Yeah, when am I gonna get my crayon box?
We
Charlie's
can't-
like, yeah, I want my crayon box back too. Are they gonna take my crayon box? Am I ever gonna get my crayon box back?
We can't tell them, and we're homeschooling. We're doing the best we can at it, and I've had a lot of nasty people come out of the woodwork over the whole homeschooling thing. And it's like, you had the kids, you lie in it. Awful people say the meanest things. Who are you? I don't even know who you are. You're saying these mean things. I don't get it. And it's like, well, you had the kids, you lie in it. And saying things like, yeah, well, you're you relied on teachers and this and that, And now look at you. You had no plan to teach your kid.
Yeah, give him some.
What? What? Where do these people
Yeah.
come from,
Yeah, that's it, Wes. He's feeding our kids crayons. They're going through crayon withdrawal.
Yeah, that's
why they're
lunch.
obsessed with their grandpa.
Yeah, we do that at lunchtime, and uh, we're starting to run out. Now they want their.
Yeah, we're waiting to get the final word if all of our schools are going to be closed through the rest of the year.
Indefinitely.
I'm sure it is because Virginia announced it, but down in our counties they haven't made that announcement. We're still on the 23rd of April, so we shall see.
Whew.
So from hearing from what everybody else is saying, schools closed for the rest of the year. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be closed as well.
Babe, you should have checked me for ticks.
I know. Well, I gotta get the blowtorch.
Oh, I finally figured out the cutting the grass situation. I know a lot of folks don't really care, but uh, I was pretty excited about it because I was concerned, what I was going to do about it, and it not having the right kind of tools for the job. So now I've managed to do that. I'd spent multiple acres going going up and down and round, multiple acres, just cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. How many hours was I out today? What was it, 4?
No.
Was it 2 and then 2? You said every time I went out was 2 hours.
No, I said today was 1.
It was 1.
But when you first got it, yeah, it
was 2 and then 2.
Yeah.
I'm at 7. Right now I've clocked almost 8 hours of cutting. And yeah, it's like 8 hours of grass cutting. Could you imagine? Well, unless you're in that line of work, could you imagine 8 hours of just cutting grass? It's just crazy. That's pretty much what I've had to do. But a split between that and gardening, and it's just ridiculous.
Well, we are definitely gonna get goats, but it's fencing. Fencing's expensive.
Well, all we have right now is
just the barbed wire.
8-strand wire, or we have barbed wire and 8 strands, and we need something else. And to do the whole property would be a fortune to fence. So we're going to have to close off certain areas. If we had cattle, we'd be okay because the barbed wire would be all right. But right now is a bad time for it. I don't know how many of you folks are keeping track of this, but farmers are also panic buying, and they're having to keep cows fed. They're running out of feed. There's no feed. There's no feed for anything right now. Even like with chicken feed and stuff like that. Now, if you're looking for like the medicated stuff and things for little baby chicks, that's a thing. You can get that pretty easy. But a lot of folks are having to resort back to the old day of grinding up cornmeal and things like that. Things are changing, man. I mean, a lot of us were going backwards. It's true.
Full moon. Yeah, it's a shame they have to panic buy.
Everyone's panic buying, and the just-in-time delivery system. Everyone has said since 10 years ago when it went into service. I think it was 10 years ago that it just-in-time, buy at the store, ships from factory to the store. All this process where they don't keep an inventory in the back anymore to refill the shelves. Ever since they went to this 10 years ago, everyone has said for the longest time, this isn't going to work. And every time there's a disaster, it never works. So when there's a major disaster, like what we're having right now take place, well, it might not be that major, but everyone sure is making it major. That's the thing, is everyone's making it major. And with that taking place, of course, there's nothing there. It's like she walked into the store. It's like she comes back out and goes, "There's no blueberry bagels."
No one has blueberry bagels. It's just plain. No, I don't care.
It's just
You're
funny.
You're just
though.
like, well, buy blueberry cream cheese.
That's what I say. It just cracked me up that you come out and you're like, "There's no blueberry bagels." There's none.
I don't
I
understand.
don't
Different
understand
stores. Everybody's
why.
out of the blueberry. But
But
you
they
just
are good, man. I mean,
they
I
are.
guess it's a hot item. Everybody's gonna buy it, of
Just
course.
buy the frozen blueberries and
And
make our own homemade.
for
That's all
me,
good.
I got super PO'd about the Kool-Aid section because it's black cherry. Man, the black cherry. It's like I gotta get some black cherry. I went back there, all the good stuff was gone, and even the black cherry. I was sad there for a second. I was like, I just want some black cherry Kool-Aid and some sugar. And I'm going home. I'm getting out of here. That's all I need. Oh man. And then all they had left was like the funky orange.
Cool hand. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Did you
Semper
ever know?
Fi.
Did we ever figure out if he made it out of California?
I I don't think he ever told me if he
Thank
finally
you. We
rolled out or
appreciate you,
not.
buddy.
He'll have to text me later and see if you moved out or not all the way. I know you were planning on it. I'm not sure. I didn't get anything from you. But anyways, thank you,
Yes, we
thank you.
appreciate you very much.
What was I gonna say? What was the last thing? Oh yeah,
The
the
Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid
woes.
situation. It's for the kids, man. It's not just me. The kids need that stuff. It's
Cookies
you gotta
from
keep
Wayne.
if you've got 3 kids in your house, you better have plans to keep them entertained because they get a little crazy cooped up in the house. I've had them out in the garden. They've been digging and
They've been stick fighting.
they've been stick fighting. They
They
were
had
doing
their
like
first encounter of a
snake.
yesterday.
Oh my
And Ellie
goodness.
wants to go find the snake now. She's on a mission to go get the snake. And I'm like,
You guys would not believe the craziness that I went through yesterday with 3 kids screaming and running to me about a freaking snake.
we
And
didn't
then they
even.
couldn't even make up their mind what it was.
First was
I
squares.
said, well, they're crying, they're bawling their eyes out and sobbing. And he said, Daddy, you said to run to you if you see a snake. And it's like, yeah, good job, kid. And what did the snake look like? It was black. I said, well, I I could put that together, and I figured out, in my head. And then I'm walking away, and the boy's like, it had checkers on it and squares. I I said, turn back around. Boo hadn't answered my question yet, so I was like, Boo, what color was it? It was brown. And I'm like, brown and diamonds. Okay, did it rattle? I'm trying to put this together, and I was like, man, I'm over there. I've got my judge and I've got my rat shot loaded. So I was already ready for dealing with the situation. So I'm going over there and I'm knocking stuff out of the way. And I said it come out of the pile, and I found a black stick that might resemble a snake. And I was like,
Who knows?
whatever. I'm going back to the garden, and we're just as the kids come help me in here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. But it's just the kids screamed. Remember we were going up the steps and she saw that grasshopper.
Oh,
I
Ellie.
thought she saw a snake on the porch or something. I'm like,
No, it was
what?
Ellie. I knew it was probably a fly or something because she'll
She was screaming like,
terrified.
she's on top of a
scream.
chair and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, what on earth is wrong with you?
It's just a big old grass.
It's a grasshopper. I was like, all that nonsense for a grasshopper. You made my heart jump out of my chest. I thought something bad had happened. She freaks out over wasps. Like a wasp could be 10 miles in the air flying around, and she's like, it's a wasp. Oh
But
man.
now she wants to go find and get the snake and make
She
it a pet.
well, she's been telling me I need to shoot snakes every day now. She's like, you need to go shoot the snakes. And she says, you gonna crank the lawnmower up and go kill the snakes? I was like, oh kid, you're killing me. It's like she's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since, I tell you. Is there something else that I'm missing? I know there's been a lot that's happened in the
There has
past
been
few
a lot.
days. Here at the house and everything else. I didn't know if anything else I want to talk about that was just crazy, but it is getting crazy.
It is. I was just shocked. I was expecting a hospital to kind of blow up out of control, but it's like
No, it's
opposite.
the opposite.
I just am like, whoa, what? They're not making mandatory
No,
overtime? Say
no.
what?
Heck, you can't. You can't
Mm-mm.
even. You can barely work the hours that you get.
Well,
That's for everyone
and the
though.
thing
Everyone's
is,
getting
too,
sent home
is
too.
if they, suspect that you've been exposed to somebody who's got the corona,
That's the other thing,
you have to take a 2-week mandatory leave of absence.
and that's scary. That
Um,
is scary.
and even the stimulus and hazard pay package is wonderful,
Mm-mm.
but like it's the government, it's going to take forever. So,
They ain't paying.
unfortunately,
They ain't gonna pay nobody right
you
now.
got they're going to have to dip into PTO, FMLA, medical leave, and it
Six
sucks because a lot
point
of
true.
people don't have that, or they took it for baby leave, and they won't have that cushion for 2 weeks.
They've been instructed that they
Or
have to
for the
use
restaurant businesses that are closed for months and months.
nurses are at that stage where they're on the front lines with the doctors, and they're having to use their paid time off for if the event that they get sick, and not other places are doing that. It's just killing me that that's what they're going to do. You would think that all these talks about this emergency, the state of emergency, okay, for this thing, doesn't include the nurses and staff for that situation. Uh,
Yeah, and everything's changing so fast with infectious disease and
yeah,
protocols, and just
it's gonna be hard to keep up. You better
yeah.
keep you better keep one llama's distance.
You have a good Easter too, Luke. Yeah, I know.
You better keep one llama distance. We're gonna. I just, I was just thinking. I needed a bunny costume. I was gonna trick the kids to think that there's a bunny in the backyard laying eggs. Uh, I totally wanted to dress up as a bunny and just bounce around the backyard. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a sneak attack with some eggs. That's what I need to do. You got to make the best of it, man. All this chaos going on, you're gonna have to make the best of it.
Yep, I just hope it stops soon. There's a breaking point. The government's gonna have to say, okay, reopen up, because now these other countries that thought they had it all nipped in the butt, they're getting the coronavirus all over again, and your immune system isn't building up as fast. Whereas if it can ID like a certain, just a common cold virus, it nips that in the butt pretty quick. But yeah, sounds like people are re getting again. So sorry, it's you got to open up these stores back up, and just people get sick. They got
Let it happen.
their body's gonna have to fight it the best they can, and
I,
we can't live our lives inside.
I just thought it was funny. I was at one store the other day. I was running in to pay for gas, and the store literally had pallets.
Permit
They
state of emergency.
they had pallets separating you from the cashier, and I had to reach over the pallets to punch in pin numbers so I could pay for the gas. And this made no sense, man. And I was looking at the card reader, right? And man, that thing looked like it had been through a hailstorm and been puked on 20 times,
Right, Joe.
like it had never been wiped off ever. And I'm like, we've got you do realize you have multiple pallets here separating everyone, doing this social distancing thing, and your card thing, I have to punch my numbers in, is covered in like throw up. That makes no sense. It's just none of that stuff makes any sense to me. I'm just saying.
Well,
Someone's got to put some sort of
okay.
common sense to this.
Well, you got to get a little stick or a pencil to just do your punching the numbers in.
She would think of that.
There you go. Gloves, yeah, you could do gloves, but you run out of gloves so fast. Just get your little Ziploc bag,
Got it.
do a little punching pin thing, pencil, stick,
No.
and put it in your Ziploc bag. There you go.
Y'all need to start carrying around walking sticks, like samurai swords or something like that.
Yeah, you
I'm-
would say that.
I mean, just something long and sharp. You can stab the thing. It's like, well,
Thank you.
sorry I broke your machine, that I can't touch it with my fingers. You know, start
Yeah.
stabbing holes through it. Pull out your knife and just start and break it. There you go. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Can't touch it with my fingers. Social distance.
Yeah.
Just yell social distance and just go social distance. Ah! Slam the door open. Yeah. Yeah. Just go full throttle. You got this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm gonna get people in trouble. Someone's gonna go do that right now. Like social distance. Yeah.
There you go. The little pencils for mini golf.
There you go.
Yeah, mini golf. Hey, mini golf is a social distance event. I mean,
Now you can't have more than 10 people in a store.
oh, I
Everywhere.
know.
That's so ridiculous.
I was so weirded out
Every
when I went
store.
to Joann's because I'm like, I need to get some material so I can start making skirts for Boo Boo Bear, just stuff to do at home. And I'm like, lights on. Why can't I get in through the door? And the ladies come in and she has like this long yardstick to knock the sensor loose. I'm like, hi. She's like, no more than 6 feet. Yes, ma'am. Only 10 people in the store at a time. Gotcha. So,
Dang. Dang.
yeah, and my other family member, she was saying she works at Target. You know, they're not doing refunds right now either.
You what?
Yeah, you can't get back a broken object, I guess. So, yeah, due to they don't know where it's been or who's licked it or coughed on it. So I'm like, well, that's kind of crappy. What if you
Wow.
buy a $150 vacuum and it broke?
That goes back to what I was saying before. People ain't gonna buy nothing right now. People are not buying stuff right now. That
So,
goes into the
but she
the
was saying
crazy car commercials.
they're gonna change that by next week, or something, I guess. But it's like, okay,
The crazy car
Yeah.
commercials where it's a curbside service.
oh yeah,
And I listened to a Harley Davidson commercial the other day where they're literally saying, "We'll even ride the bike to your home." What? Anyway, it's pretty funny.
just give everybody a hazmat suit. It'll be all right.
And I saw a dude wearing a full chemical suit. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this stuff up, man. He was outside smoking a cigarette. He had his mask pulled down. He's smoking a cigarette and he's wearing a full suit with gloves and everything.
Was
It's
that
a-
outside of Harbor Freight?
Yes.
That was in Joanne.
That was, yes. I told you. I was like, I can't make this stuff up, man. He's wearing a full, it was a yellow suit. Dude, like he was from Back to the Future, where he does the whole, the radio thing, the headphones thing. He puts the headphones on old boy's head, goes, bzzz, you know, anyways, but he's wearing the helmet and everything.
Yeah.
Oh boy had an outfit like that, but he would minus the helmet. But he looked like he was going to go handle some freaking plutonium. Dude wasn't right. He's just sitting there smoking cigarette with his mask pulled down. Everybody's just walking in and out of the store. It made no sense.
Oh man.
Wow. I was wow. Yeah. Crazy. I guess that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope, I'm just kind of sitting back waiting for the chaotic blow to hit our part of the region of hospitals. I'm just like,
Well, you guys have already,
Can it happen?
you guys are already
What's
getting it.
going on?
You just aren't getting that much
Not,
of it yet.
yeah, we're not at like freaking New York level because we're not in a major city like them, but still.
Yeah.
I'm sure the majority of them that are sick are pretty much staying home or on the streets.
Yeah.
So,
It's crazy.
yeah. Anybody see a Sesame Street episode? What's the word on the street? 6 feet distance. Get your masks on.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right.
God bless everybody.
That's
right.
That's all I got for tonight. That's something
Yes,
that's
we are not doomed.
I didn't get to do one. I didn't get to do a live stream Saturday or Monday, so I'm doing it today.
See, I'm using my arm.
I just
touching my face.
I had to shift the live stream to today, but uh, it's happening because of the schedule. Anyway,
Oh my gosh, Miss West says that's a lot of money. 10,000 a month for help for extra nurses in New York. I would pass that. I wouldn't do it. I'm just like, no.
mm-mm.
I don't want to get
that falls into hazard pay too.
stuck in New York. And gosh, what if I end up getting it really bad where I have to be intubated? I'd be, no. That's not worth the money.
Mm. All right.
Yes, we hope you all are doing okay, especially financially and health wise and spiritually. Just keep praying. It was so amazing to see that huge rainbow on Sunday after Sunday evening.
That was Sunday evening. We saw a double rainbow. It was like directly over the house and fields and everything, and that was just a trip. And I know a few other folks had posted the same photo and from like the area and stuff like that. There's a lot of folks posting the same thing. So, but it was really cool to see that, and the kids were super excited about it. Seeing it. I've never seen one that big before in my life, and I thought that was cool.
So yeah, it's a good sign.
Yeah, that's what I think. I take it as a good sign, and
Lord will say we'll get over it. We'll be all right.
And of course, as soon as I said something, of course you've got the keyboard warriors that come out left field. It's like, uh, it's like, yeah, that's God's promise, but it's the virus, blah blah blah, and I'm like, dude, come on, happy attitude.
Yep.
Happy attitude. Y'all need to be happy.
Enjoy the beauty.
I feel like I'm talking to my kids sometimes with some of the comments I have to reply. I'm like, hey, you have a happy attitude. Be nice. Don't be mean to people.
Yeah, there's a lot more kids on the internet now. I'm
There
sure you
is.
get a lot more.
There's a lot more kids now.
Immature comments.
Yeah, some heinous. It happens though. It's gonna happen. All right. I know we're getting off track. I'm trying to jump off here. All right.
But yes, everybody have a good, happy Easter. Keep your eggs 6 feet apart.
She's doing it again. I keep doing the
Sorry, but
all right.
it's
Good night,
Easter.
everyone. And she takes over.
Happy Easter. Have a good Sunday. Don't forget about Jesus.
I'm waiting.
And pray to Jesus. He loves you. We love you. Good night.
Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
I'm making sure. All right. We love you guys. God bless. Good night, everyone.